My name is Waithera Kabiru, Head of Media Futures at EABL. This festive season, remember to drink better, not more. And I'm happy to be here at the Wamathai podcast. Cheers.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another episode of the Wamathai podcast. Today, I'm joined by Waithera Kabiru, the head of media futures at EABL, and we'll be talking about Guinness and their latest campaign. Karibu sana.
Thank you, Wamathai, for having me.
Do you know what I love most about the campaign before we talk about it? The fact that you have content creators. That is amazing. But tell us more about it.
And that's the main thing about the campaign. I'm very excited about it. If I would sum it up in one word, it's about optimism.
Yes.
And telling the African story through content creators.
Yes.
But before we talk about it, I've come to your place. I have to pour you a drink. In African nature, I can't just come and empty-handed. So I brought you a drink.
Okay.
Join me as we have a Guinness.
Of course.
It happens.
It happens.
So this is a perfect serve where you have, the head, just about that thick.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. I actually pour mine like this because I want all this CO2 to come out.
Really? But if you tilt it, here we are having a discussion about the perfect serve. We should be talking about the campaign. But
no. I mean, to be honest, I prefer it this way. Okay, I know it's messy, but I prefer it this way. Imagine.
So
yes.
And again, it's also at the heart of the product, Guinness Foreign Extra Stout and Guinness Smooth are the products that the amazing products that are at the heart of this campaign.
Yeah.
The campaign is called Black Shines Brightest.
Yes.
I love it. It's a Pan-Africa campaign. So we've collaborated with a lot of African markets and come together, as Kenya, Uganda, Tanzania, Nigeria, South Africa, to just do an amazing collaboration of content creators focusing on music, art, food, travel.
Yeah.
And what we're basically saying is we're co-creating. So Guinness is co-creating with amazing content creators who are influencers by their own rights across the continent. So that we can have these spaces where you could actually let, your shine come through.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because we do know there's a lot of creativity on this continent.
Yeah.
And we just need to let it shine.
Yeah.
So one of the key things, if you know Guinness from back in the day, Guinness is a 250-year-old brand. It's been on the continent for over 100 years. But it's been, to be honest, a very masculine type of brand. And so why this campaign, I think, I'm so excited about is because it's really a progressive campaign, inclusive of women. So there's a lot of inclusivity and diversity that we're bringing to it.
My friend Just Rioba is there.
Yes, absolutely. I love travel, love following her.
Yeah.
And it's about that, just being very progressive in how we're showing up as Africans.
Yeah. Why why digital? And why these influencers specifically?
So a couple of things we've seen, across Kenya and across the continent, the uptake of local content. Yeah. So we're no longer seeking to the West for inspiration or entertainment as much as we used to. Now we have a lot of content creators who are providing that, entertainment and that content online. We've seen the massive shift of consumption of digital. Just in the pandemic year, the start of the pandemic year, 2020, I think we've seen the average time spent online getting to, over 4 hours a day, which is pretty high.
True.
We know everybody has a cell phone or a smart or smarter phone. So content is really, on your mobile phone, right? So that's why it's a very digitally led, mobile first campaign.
What do you intend to get, out of this? And how many people do you want to reach?
So first, if we talk about even just the name of the campaign, Black Shines Brightest.
Actually, that's really cool because black, the bottle is black, the drink is black, and and also you're focusing in African markets and black people. So that was Genius.
And you see, if you think about it, Africa has always been known as the dark continent.
Yeah.
Now we're saying black shines brighter. So it's
Yeah.
not even about the color, but the fact that we are shining. The potential in Africa is amazing.
Yeah.
We intend to reach a lot of young people across the continent. That's the target audience. And like I mentioned, even women.
Yes.
Just to show, affirm what we have
Yeah.
and show the potential.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we have content creators in Kenya who their content will be seen in other African markets, this just opens up the continent.
True, because it's one campaign. It's just that now it's different influencers from different places.
Yes, so we'll have a docu-series that will run across all the different African markets.
Okay.
So your friend Just Rioba will be seen in Nigeria.
And Mutua Matheka.
There you go.
Yeah. So tell me about the other influencers in this campaign.
Okay, so we're super excited that we have a mix of influencers. So we have celebrities like Nandi from Tanzania.
Yeah, the musician.
The musician.
Yes.
We have incredible Ziggy, who's a Ghanaian choreographer, and several others, of that caliber.
Yeah.
But the key thing about this is we also wanted to work with content creators who are not necessarily celebrities. So locally, like in Kenya, other than Just Rioba, we're also working with Mutua Matheka, who's an amazing photographer. We're working with Philbert, who's a fashion designer. I actually wear a lot of his clothes. Unfortunately, today I'm not.
Not today, but
he's one of my favorite fashion designers.
Yes.
We have Adelle Onyango, an amazing advocate for a lot of.
She also has an amazing podcast.
She does. I am totally in awe of her.
She's amazing.
And several others. So it's a big mix of music, artists, foodies, travel bloggers, you name it. Who are just creating amazing content that we're all consuming, right?
Yeah. I've seen in recent EABL campaigns that there's a lot of focus on women. Tell me more about that.
So,
especially around beer, which is different.
It's a very deliberate effort, right? So, for one, we are really advocating for inclusivity and diversity. So it's not just a woman focus, it's many other things. A woman focus, even looking at people with disabilities. So a lot of campaigns, we've started rethinking how we do them. Around that, we also have a program called Progressive Portrayal of Gender in Media, Advertising, and Entertainment.
Yes.
So when I say gender, it's again not just a woman focus, but both genders. How are genders portrayed in media or in advertising in a progressive way? So we all know we have, unconscious biases. About, and then which leads to stereotypes. So, the woman should be in the kitchen cooking. That's fine. I cook. But at the same time, a woman in the bar back in the day was perceived very, like, why is she in the bar? Is she waiting to be bought for a drink? Well, she could have bought the drink. Like, today I bought you drinks. Today I bought the Guinness. So it's always about that progressive portrayal, representation. Who are you seeing and what are their roles? But we also look at not just the advertising, but even behind the camera, if you look at the production crew. And I love the fact that your production crew is all female. Like, because just from a perspective point of view, you just get a diversity of that, and from that creative point of view. And then the third thing, so we look at creative, we look at production, who's behind the camera. And we do know there is, a need for more production, women in production. So how do we make sure we're providing that mentorship? And then finally, we look at media, so progressive media. So spaces where we can put our advertising that are very progressive.
Back to the campaign. Tell me about the other activations that you have planned.
So we're super excited because it's not just a campaign. It's a lifestyle. So we're going around the country and we're setting up what's called bright houses. So your typical, say, bar or restaurant, we're now transforming it into a lifestyle. So there'll be maybe an art gallery happening, musicians, singing, and just a space for people to come together, co-create or enjoy creation of other content creators in an amazing space. So it's not your typical bar. It's just a different setup, different vibe.
Okay.
Yeah.
And this is countrywide?
This is nationwide and Africa-wide.
And Africa-wide.
Yes.
And in the so basically you'll have other artists and creators as part of this campaign as well.
Yes, we did. We actually kicked it off in November at the Museum of Kenya.
Yes.
Where we actually had
the launch event.
The launch event was, that's what a bright house is essentially going to look like. So you have different spaces where maybe during the day you're having mini workshops, just mini collaboration sessions. And then in the evening, it just turns into an entertainment spot. And you have not always your mainstream musicians, but even your upcoming or underground musicians performing, and it just really a lot of sort of art happening in that space. Just nice vibes, nice chill out zones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talked about the bright houses.
Yeah.
Will all the 3 Guinness brands be involved?
Yes, absolutely. So first, as you know, Guinness is a global brand, but has local roots.
It has been here for a while.
Yes. So globally, Guinness is 250 years old.
Yes.
In Kenya, at least, over 50 to 100. I don't know the exact number, but in the continent, at least 100 years. What we popularly know is the foreign extra stout. Amazing liquid.
Yeah.
We recently launched Guinness Smooth.
Yes.
And then we have
Hop House.
We have Hop House 13, which is the lager from the House of Guinness.
Yes.
So those are the 3 brands that we have here in Kenya.
Yeah.
And as much as they're global brands, we locally manufacture. So they are local brands, they're our brands. So we feel like, the heart and pulse of Guinness is here.
Yeah.
And so what we're doing with this campaign is, it's bringing the pizzazz around Guinness. It's about optimism, like I said earlier, creativity and potential that this African continent has. Yes, it's a lot about that, those 3 things: optimism, creativity, and potential.
It seems like the brand is exploring, a different, sort of like agenda, especially when it's with its interaction with consumers. Tell me more about that, and and in any future, plans the brand might have around this.
So, as you know, Guinness, to be quite honest, has been very male skewed and targeting an older generation. Like you and I. Okay, like you.
No, like me, yes.
Okay.
I'm old. That's true.
So I think what's really amazing now that we've decided to switch the focus.
Yes.
And not just targeting the younger generation, but empowering the next generation of leaders, empowering the next generation of content creators, and how best to do. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, how back in the day, if you were successful, it was because you became a doctor, or lawyer, or engineer, and that's what your parents expected from you.
Yeah.
So we do know now success can come from anywhere.
Things have changed.
They have changed.
Yeah.
So we're just empowering that local generation of, the next generation of creative leadership.
Yeah.
And Guinness is the brand that is bold enough to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So the bar activations, the bright houses, when are they starting? And which you said countrywide.
Yeah, so we're very excited about the bright houses, because first of all, they'll all look different. The experiences will all be different.
Yeah. So let's say I'm in Nakuru. The Nakuru experience and the Nairobi experience
with different. Nakuru is now a city. It was just made a city.
It is, yeah.
So Nakuru city's experience will be different from Nairobi city or Mombasa city
and Kisumu city. Yeah.
There you go. Just because it's also about the local vibe.
Yeah.
Nairobi's vibe sometimes can be different from Nakuru, unless all the Nairobi guys have gone to Nakuru. You know how we do.
Yeah. And Naivasha. Yeah.
There you go. Of course, we want to make sure that we're enjoying this and we're consuming the product very responsibly.
Yeah.
So that's always the basis, drinking responsibly, enjoying responsibly, because our purpose as EABL is to celebrate life every day, everywhere. You know what celebrating is? Sherehe.
Yeah, of course. Sherehe aras. And it's December, so
celebrating life every day, everywhere.
Yeah,
that is our purpose.
Okay.
So if you can live that,
yeah. Okay, good stuff. So thank you so much, for unpacking this for us, and thank you for the beer.
Cheers.
Cheers. Also something else. I love your agenda around women, and that's really amazing. And I do know that also EABL has a lot of empowerment programs for women. They have women engineers. They have a woman CEO. So fantastic.
Yeah,
work.
we still have work to do.
Yeah.
We recognize that, but we're very deliberate about it.
Yeah.
In the workplace, we're still very male skewed, so 70% male, about 30% women.
Yeah.
But in our board is 36% women. And as we know, our EABL CEO is the first woman, Jane Karuko. We're proud of that. But we also know we have ways to go. And how we're doing that is looking at now from the entry level. So in our graduate management program, our STEM program, it was really amazing. I just found out that one of our lines in Tanzania, Serengeti Breweries, is completely run by women, the plant.
Yeah.
The line.
Yeah.
So those kind of things where we're saying art is great, but there's also the science side of it. Yeah. So science, is also an area where we're looking at how do we, empower, women to get into science without fear, right?
Yeah.
And advance in career. So really amazing stuff. And then of course, like I said, from an art creative, me, that's my passion. I just really want to see a lot of artists or creatives in Kenya and across the continent really shine very brightly. And that's what Guinness is there to do.
I love that. Thank you for coming on the show.
All right.
Okay.
Thank you for having me.
You're welcome.